welcome back. It is the Vegas Take. Sharp and Shapiro. Glad you could join us. Going to check out our Twitter page here real quickly. And by the way, if you were wondering, it's at the Vegas Take. I just opened up my personal Twitter page yesterday. I'm Brian Shapiro. That's right, at I'm Brian Shapiro. And JD said that I should have named it Face for Radio. Is that right?
Yeah,
it's not a compliment.
I thought it would be hilarious if your username was Face for Radio.
Well, I don't have the lavish looks that you have, so I have to rely on my wonderful, sparkling personality. And I think Pat understands where I'm coming from. Me and Pat are not Brad Pitt, so right, nothing personal.
I've always said I have the perfect face for radio.
Yeah, exactly. We both do. Yeah,
I'm a movie star.
Well, I go to Twitter, and speaking of which, we had Sharon over at Size 5 Shoes. She says, Brian, I just heard you say you've been told you have a face for radio. Hilarious. Yeah, that wouldn't be the first time. Healthy Tips on social media, on Twitter, said, at the Vegas Take, what do you guys think is better, Chick-fil-A or Cane's? I've never had Chick-fil-A, but I will say I love Raising Cane's. They're awesome. You guys agree with that?
They're good, but there's no comparison.
Yeah.
It's like day and night.
No, I do like Cane's. Cane's is fine. I'm not a huge fan of their limited menu, but Chick-fil-A has the better chicken and they have the bigger menu. So I'm all about Chick-fil-A in this particular question.
Well, speaking of food, I'm a professional when it comes to this segueing into something else. Have you guys ever had edibles before? Be honest. You're on the radio.
No.
You've never had a marijuana edible?
No, but I've CBD oil, yes, but I've never had an edible.
I have, and I was literally unable to function in public.
So was I. Well, that's me usually on a daily basis.
I couldn't talk to anybody. I had really no understanding of what was going on around me.
Well,
it was a terrible experience.
You don't have to be high to have that anyway. So hey, if you're going to make fun of what I look like, I'm certainly going to throw some shots at you from time to time. Yeah. Well, the reason why I bring that up is I'm a big Mike Tyson fan. I like Mike Tyson. I thought the whole rape case situation, I'm going to probably take a lot of flack to it. I don't personally believe he raped that woman.
Absolutely agree with you.
And I like Mike Tyson. I think he's had a tough childhood. He's had some anger issues, but I actually think he's a genuine, decent person, and I'm glad he's doing better with his life. Marijuana might be a part of that, okay? So Mike Tyson was doing his podcast. It's called Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson. And he's talking about how much weed he smokes on a monthly basis with co-host Eben Britton. Go ahead and listen to this because it's startling.
Yo, we got what is that?
A lot of research.
What do we smoke a month? What is it? 40,000 a month?
We smoke
40,000 a month.
We smoke 10 tons of weed at the ranch a month.
40 grand. Ain't that crazy? That's crazy.
Crazy.
Right? We take it for granted.
Smoke a lot of weed here.
$1,000 worth of weed a month?
Yeah.
That's a lot of weed.
A lot of weed blowing down, man.
That's nonstop. Every second weed right there. Like,
yeah, it's a lot.
But we throwing out, and the dispensary's like what? Was it 500 a month?
There ain't nothing wrong with that.
500 a month. 500,000.
This is a great market to be in. Like the money is phenomenal.
I can't believe we doing this.
Yeah, we won't finish that one because he said a bad word. I can't believe what we're doing in the dispensary. We're spending $40,000 a month with smoking weed. It's crazy. Where's Wobbin? Sorry, that was my Mike Tyson impersonation.
I thought that was really good,
all
Brian.
the power. Where's Wobbin?
By the way, thank you, Mike and co-host, for the economics lesson on marijuana.
We appreciate
that. Was wonderful.
That. Hey, listen, it's ludicrous. if Mike Tyson is doing better because he's smoking weed, all the power to this guy. I got no problem. I once interviewed this guy, and he bragged to us during an interview about the fornicating that he did behind bars. And the guy I was doing radio with at the time said that it's sad that Mike Tyson is getting more laid behind bars than he is.
He was railroaded
as a free man. That's crazy. Hey, all happiness to Mike Tyson. Okay, so this is. I'm not really an opera fan. I don't know if you guys are, but apparently Placido Domingo is one of the most celebrated and powerful men in opera. This guy,
famous tenor.
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm more of a 90s alternative rock guy. It's not my genre. I've heard of him before, but if you haven't heard of him, here's what this guy sounds like. He can belt it out. All right, you get the chance, Johnny. I'm going to bang my head against the wall if I can hear any more of that. That's enough. But anyway, Domingo's in a little bit of trouble, and I'm going to compare him with Mr. Weinstein, Mr. Harvey Weinstein. There are a lot of people that have come out that have said that he had inappropriate sexual relationships with them. He would hold women's hands in meetings. He would touch some of these women inappropriately. This is according to the Associated Press. This guy might be in a lot of trouble. He's 78 years old. He still attracts sellout crowds around the globe. But his accusers and others in the industry are saying that there is certainly a troubling side to Domingo.
Sounds like a bunch of shakedowns and a couple of quick settlements to me, Brian.
Holding somebody's hand.
Well,
Yes,
listen,
that's sexually advancing.
I don't think holding a hand, you should be sued for that. But if somebody doesn't want you doing it in the workplace, I think it can be.
We agree, but I got to tell you this.
Yeah.
If you ever seen it, this man does not have to go out of his way to sexually grope anybody. The women dive at his feet. He walks into the crowd. He says, I want you, and you to go to home with me and have sex. They say, okay.
You don't think Weinstein, Harvey
No, that's
Weinstein?
a different ballgame.
Well, but hold on. Harvey, extremely wealthy man.
You're talking about the couch. They want to become superstars. There's a total difference between I'm attracted
But wrong
to
is
you.
wrong, though, isn't it?
Harvey didn't have fans. He had people who were willing to climb up the ladder.
Right.
This singer has fans.
But the point I'm trying to make
difference.
is, but hold on. The point I'm trying to make is if you are a powerful man, whether it's an opera singer or a director or Harvey Weinstein, you're put in that powerful position. You could take advantage of women.
I agree what you're saying. Here's the thing. It's like an athlete, and I could tell you the stories. The athletes, people knock on their doors with robes and they're naked. I mean, I'm serious. Weinstein.
That doesn't happen to me. Usually it's a dude.
Unfortunately, I haven't had that experience either.
No.
But Weinstein is a scumbag. He's using his power. You want a job? Get on your knees. Domingo and a lot of these superstars, women do whatever, they flock to him. So I don't see it. Now, if he is drugging women like Cosby supposedly did, well, that's a different ballgame.
I haven't heard that. That accusation has not come out.
That's my point. I mean, I just don't see. Again, if he touches a woman's hand,
Okay, but let me ask you a question then. Let's just say you're in the workplace and a guy decides to hold your hand. What would be your response to that?
not interested. I'm flattered, but I'm not interested.
And what if he did it again the next day?
I'd say the same thing.
I would say, I want to hold your hand.
There you go.
That's what I would do.
If he held my hand and I told him, don't you ever do that again, if he did it again, I'd probably think about punching him in the face.
That's the whole, and I agree with that.
And that seems like a bit of a homophobic reaction.
No, it's not homophobic. It's unwanted. It's an unwanted.
That was good.
I look at it as an unwanted.
He fed you. He gave you a real good pitch to swing and crush.
No, listen, just
He
because
fed you on that one.
because I don't want a man to make out with me doesn't mean I'm homophobic. Do you want a man holding your hand?
I wouldn't threaten to punch him in the face.
I said
Multiple
I would think,
times.
I said I would think about doing it if I gave him a
What if
warning.
he grabbed your butt?
Oh, that would be absolute sexual assault.
If he grabbed my butt, that is sexual assault. Yeah, that would be an issue.
But JD would probably enjoy it. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but he probably would. He would like the attention. I want to go switch over to the NFL.
A lot of shots this show. I kind of dig it.
I want to go to the NFL and Jay-Z. Jay-Z's entertainment and sports representation company are teaming up for events and social activism. Of course, somebody that has a problem with that is Tommy Lauren, who went to school here at UNLV, who I think is a complete ditz, a complete buffoon. She tweeted this out. She said, Jay-Z will be consulting with the NFL for the Super Bowl halftime show and other performances because apparently the league doesn't hate America and law enforcement officers at a level satisfactory enough for the former drug dealer. Okay, first of all, just because you've made mistakes in your past, and in Jay-Z's instance, he admit that he did drugs, doesn't mean that he's going to do it in the future.
He didn't just admit it. I mean, he made a career off of it.
Well, he made some money off of that. He made some mistakes. But
which is totally
That's
fine.
in the past.
My entire issue with this is the way that it's been reported. Call him Sean Carter. His name is Sean Carter. It's not Jay-Z.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Carter owns Rock Nation. Sean Carter has this agreement with the NFL. It's not Jay-Z.
Okay, so what's your point? Do you have anything wrong with Sean Carter or Jay-Z teaming up with the NFL?
I have absolutely no problem with it at all.
You
Make
don't.
money. Go for it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about
Or
Tommy
call
Lauren?
him Mr. Carter. I think that's a ridiculous comment. That's a pandering comment.
This is an interesting.
There's not even much thought behind that.
I agree. Now, the rapper has been open about his past as a drug dealer, but in 2013, he told Vanity Fair the experience readied him for the difficult world of music. He also said, a lot of supporting things about former 49ers quarterback Colin Kaepernick. As you know, Kaepernick has not played in the NFL for 2 seasons, not with a team now.
Well, let me ask this, Tommy Lauren. If this was Eminem, would you talk about how Eminem rapped about killing his wife or fantasized killing his mom?
Listen, I'll say.
Would you call him a murderer?
Listen, I'll say it before.
Jay-Z had there's no actual proof that he was. He talks about what he talks about. He has songs about it, but there's no actual proof that he did what he did.
I have only one problem with JC. Only one. give back to your community. Help those that you're around. Otherwise, God bless them for making the money, and God bless them for this opportunity. But a guy like Jay-Z, talk to Jim Brown, because Jim Brown will say, brother, take care of the people. That's something he should do. He could be a tremendous role model in his community.
He can, but here's where I have a problem. I shouldn't say a problem. I just disagree with people like Jay-Z who are supporting Colin Kaepernick. And I think this is going to continue. Here's my problem with Colin Kaepernick. First of all, he decided to take a knee on the downward spiral of his career.
Right.
I question the timing of it. Number two, if you're really serious about this issue, and the issue we are talking about is police brutality and the way police treat minorities, how many people, and when I mean people, is how many police officers has Colin Kaepernick spoken with? Has he gone to Washington? Now, there are plenty of people in the NFL that have done that and spoken to politicians. What has Colin Kaepernick actually done besides taking it? He has donated money to charity.
Made a lot of money.
Throwing money to charity will not solve this problem. He has made more money, and nobody can deny this. He's made more money off the field than he would have on the field.
Absolutely.
There's something wrong about that. I question it. Now, listen, let's just say his heart was in the right place when he started. Then why hasn't he gone and spoken to law enforcement officials in some of these communities? Why hasn't he gone to Washington and spoken to politicians? I say the same thing about Megan Rapinoe. If she truly wants equal pay and she's for all these issues, why won't she talk to people that disagree with her?
She had a platform. She could have met the president.
Exactly. I don't agree with not even necessarily their message, the way they're going about it. I believe Rapinoe is probably profiting off of this by being a spoken out, I hate to use the term, but spoken out lesbian. Let's just call it what it is. And I believe Colin Kaepernick, the timing of it is questionable. And I understand Jay-Z is an African-American. I understand that there is, African-Americans, minorities have been oppressed, and there are police out there that treat minorities. There's no question about that. This is an issue in society. But Colin Kaepernick, when you wear a Fidel Castro shirt and you wear pig socks that depict all police officers as pigs, in my opinion, you lose all of your credibility when you do something like that. You cannot be taken seriously.
And you're forget. Trump said, and I quote, if he's good enough, he should play. He said, I know these NFL owners. I know a lot of them, and they will do whatever they can to win games. If he's good enough, then he should play. He's not good enough.
And you're a big sports fan.
Is he in great shape? Is he? I've seen the video of him.
Well, guess what?
He's 6'6", 260. Yeah, he could be a great tight end or a defensive end, but could he be a quarterback in the NFL?
Well,
absolutely not.
Saquon Barkley disagrees with you.
That's fine.
And in fact, Barkley told the New York Daily News, I'm not afraid to speak my mind. He said, if a fan wants to not be a fan of me because I retweet a thing for Colin Kaepernick, I don't care. He also went on to say, I respect that people have their own opinions. Everyone is entitled to that. I would just hope that people respect I have the right to my own opinion. Listen, if all you're doing is taking a knee, you're not doing anything as far as I'm concerned. I think there are better platforms to do it. I don't have a problem with players taking a knee if you're doing more than just taking a knee. What is the other stuff that Colin Kaepernick has done? Like I said, he's donated money to charity. But if you don't think that there are issues between police and minorities in this country, then you're either complicit or you're a racist. You're just an ignoramus.
Makes sense.
We all agree, at least we all should agree, that there's racism out there and there are issues in this country between law enforcement and minorities. So what is Colin Kaepernick actually doing when he takes a knee? Unless you're a racist, you already know that there are issues there. It's what we need to do to correct those issues.
He doesn't, listen, Jim Brown walked the walk and talked the talk. This guy has not done that. But I'll tell you this. No NFL team will pick him up for one specific reason. He can't get it done, but more so, football is about cohesion. You cannot have
it's a team
conflict.
Sport.
You cannot have a guy sitting on the bench and where the press is going to say, how come you didn't play him? It's racism. When are you going to play him? Oh, he's not good enough. He sucks.
And now
he proved it in the Super Bowl.
And now you've got guys like Eric Reed and other players like that are starting to go on these racial crusades to get attention for themselves because they think that maybe they can get a big deal from Nike. Well, it sets a very bad precedent for other athletes. So does Rapinoe's situation.
And if he really wanted to play a couple of years ago, he had a chance. Ray Lewis set up a perfect opportunity with the Ravens. And what did he do? His girlfriend blew it. If he really wanted to gig, he could have silenced his girlfriend. Yeah. He is just talking right now because he already got paid for the collusion of the NFL not bringing him in. And now he's looking at who knows.
Let's take a quick phone call on this, and the phone lines are open at 257-5396. Let's go to L. L, thanks for calling into the Vegas Take. What do you think about this?
What's up, L?
L, are you there? Go ahead.
Yes, I'm here. Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Okay, what I wanted to say is Mike Tyson Oh, my God, my phone. Are you there?
Yes, we're here. We're just live on the radio on a 50,000-watt radio station. That's all. Don't worry about it.
No,
Go ahead.
You know what happened? Somebody was trying to call in while...
Are you on a speakerphone or something? Talk into the phone because you're very low.
I'm so sorry.
That's,
okay, now
that's
I'm ready.
better. Okay, so what
the
you got?
Mike Tyson thing, that was an excellent marketing ploy because you know that he owns the Planet 13
I do.
dispensary.
Yeah, I do that. He's making a lot of money off of that. Yeah.
Good way to market it, but it's good you guys are doing this show at this time because the only reason Rush was so big is because there was no one else on the other, no one else, no competition
And
basically in this
I
market.
agree, Elle, and I also agree with something else you said. Rush is definitely big. Can you tell him to eat a salad?
He's too big.
Yeah, yeah.
But I wanted to tell you, you're gonna beat him in the ratings because now we have an option. And I always did like the show. And thanks for taking my call.
Hell, can I ask you one
Thank
more
you, Elle.
question before I let you
Sure.
go? Are you an African American woman?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so there's a reason why I asked that. Don't worry, I'm not racially profiling my callers, but I would never do that. But in this case, we're talking about Colin Kaepernick, and I am criticizing Colin Kaepernick for the way he went about going about the business of, the idea of police brutality. Do you agree or disagree with me on that? Because I've been very open in criticizing Colin Kaepernick.
I thought the whole thing was overblown. I'm sorry, I disagree. I thought the whole thing was overblown because what difference does it make? Kneel, don't kneel. It's not about the flag.
No, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with him kneeling. Here's what I have a problem with. I have a problem with the way he hasn't done enough. And what I mean by that is he hasn't gone to Washington and spoke to politicians, changed any laws on the books. He hasn't spoken to police officers, maybe the chief of police. He hasn't done any of those things. He has donated money to charity, but that's not going to solve the problem. And you know what else he's done? He's profited off it. He's made a lot of money off it. Now, I get it. It's a free country. He's allowed to do that, but he's made more money off the field than on the field. And a lot of people want to paint him out to be the victim, and I don't think he's a victim at all.
Well, a lot of those are good points. I just think that it was overblown when it started, but I think if he really wanted to play, he's had chances. So maybe it
Good
is
point.
a money thing for him, but I thought he had a
No,
right.
I agree. I think the whole kneeling thing was blown out of proportion. Elle, I agree with that. Hey, thank you for listening, and thank you for those kind words, Elle.
Thank you.
We really do appreciate it.
I'll tell you this. Colin Kaepernick would absolutely get a tryout at tight end or defensive end because he looks the part. He has the speed. He has the ability. He can do it, but he is not a quarterback. He led the league in fumbles his final year. He never had any touch. He ran too much. And to this day and age, he'd get injured very, very quickly, and he's a cancer, clearly, in the locker room. The risk is not worth the reward.
He's made more money off the field than if he would have been playing as a as a backup quarterback in the NFL.
And he's had offers. He's had offers to show. And think about this. He's had offers to go to any other league and show that he can still play quarterback.
He won't do it.
But he hasn't done it. Do you know why?
Because he probably can't play. He's not in condition to play.
Well, he's just not good enough.
He's not. I agree. He's not. There's a reason why I brought this up, guys, and then we got to go to break here. Jay-Z being involved with the NFL. Do you think that this will be a factor in possibly Colin Kaepernick coming back into the league? Do you think Jay-Z will make this happen?
Nope.
Now, you don't think
Not a chance in the world.
think Jay-Z will have any part in
Unless
this?
he owns his own team, no chance.
No chance.
None. Not good enough.
So why do you think the NFL hired him and his company then?
Because they're trying to bring back they're trying to embrace the community somewhat to make money. The NFL doesn't do anything without making money as their bottom line.
And the Super Bowl halftime shows have just been terrible the last
and
4 or 5
Jay-Z also
years.
talked to somebody who was going to do a show. Don't do it. So Jay-Z does have some popularity.
Yeah, Travis Scott, I believe, or somebody along those lines was supposed to do it. I don't know who it was, but it was a relatively big hip hop guy that was supposed to do the Super Bowl and neglected to do so.
All right.
That's bad for the NFL. That's bad. I mean, the Super Bowl is the most watched event every single year.
Mm-hmm.
That is bad for ratings. That is bad for the product when the Super Bowl is not when the halftime show isn't up to par. And I can tell you, moving forward, it will be. And he might perform himself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
With Beyonce.
Yeah, with Beyonce. I'm not a big Beyonce fan. It's not me. Well, Pat, let me just say thank you very much for taking the time to join us. This is a lot of fun. I hope we can do this on a weekly basis.
I'd love
This would be
to.
great.
I had the chemistry was great.
Yeah. Wow.
I got to talk to him.
He's
JV
gonna-
Sports.
Chemistry.
Some of those picks, I'm sitting there going, oh, I'm missing out here.
Well, don't ask me out for dinner and a movie because I'm taken. Sorry, Pat. Can't do
That
it.
won't ever happen.
Sorry.
I'm so am I.
But we both have a face for radio, so maybe there is some chemistry going there. I don't know. But anyway, Pat, thanks for coming in, man. Really appreciate
Thank
it.
you,
A lot
guys.
of fun. Let's do this every week. I think it was great. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. You're listening to the Vegas Take on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM KDWN. All right. Thanks for joining us. It is the Vegas Take Sheriff and Shapiro. Coming up in the next segment, we are going to be talking to one of the rising stars in law here in Las Vegas. Her name is Sandy Van from the Sandy Van Law Firm. We will get to her coming up here in just a few minutes. Also, coming up tomorrow, Michael Avenatti will be, speaking of attorneys, Michael Avenatti will be here, and he'll be doing an all-out debate with our guy Steve Sanchez. So that is going to be an all-out brawl. So that will be coming up tomorrow. But, you know, there's a lot of personal injury attorneys in Las Vegas. But trust me, the one we have in studio that we're going to be talking to in a few minutes, she knows her stuff. I know that personally. I sound like one of those commercials, but she did represent me in a case. We'll talk a little bit about that coming up next. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back right after this. Sandy Van joining us in studio. You're listening to the Vegas Take right here on the all-new 101.5 FM, 720 AM, KDWN.